In the year 1995, several images of a laboratory mouse with a human ear-shaped cartilage grown on its back were circulated in the print media worldwide. It was called the Vacanti mouse, after the name of its creator, Charles Vacanti, who had used the mouse to display a method of developing ear cartilage for transplantation into human patients. The photos of Vacanti or the ear mouse created much uproar and faced scathing criticism from animal rights activists and anti-genetics groups. It raised debates and ethical issues regarding the use of transgenic animals and the manipulation of plant and animal genomes for genetic research. Biotechnological innovations and research are the reality of our times. However, it is important to question the ethics of any research that inflicts pain and suffering on an animal. Therefore, ethical standards should be set up in order to monitor and regulate the morality of all human activities that help or harm living organisms. Transgenic biotechnology presents many opportunities from increasing food production to providing treatment for diseases. However, it is not without its repercussions. Genetic modification of organisms can lead to unpredictable results once the transgenic organisms are introduced back into the ecosystem. Therefore, the Government of India has set up the Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, or GEAC, to make decisions regarding the validity of GM research and safety of introducing GM organisms. Apart from the use of organisms for transgenic research, another pertinent ethical issue is regarding the grant of patents. In recent years, many multinational companies have gained patents for products and technologies that make use of genetic material and biological resources identified and used by the farmers and indigenous people of a particular country over ages. For example, rice has been an essential part of Asia's agricultural history for thousands of years. In India, rice is one of the major food crops, and an estimated 2 lakh varieties of rice exist in our country. Apart from this unique diversity of rice, India is also particularly known for basmati, a long rice grain variety with a unique fragrance. Basmati has a long-standing history in our country. In Sanskrit, Basmati means the fragrant one. It is an age-old indigenous Indian variety mentioned in several ancient texts, folklore, and poetry. In 1997, an American company, Rice Tech, crossed the Indian basmati with semi-dwarf rice varieties and claimed that it had developed a new rice variety. This company even got the basmati rice patented through the US Patent and Trademark Office, which allowed it to sell this new variety of basmati in the US and abroad. The patent also restricted other people from selling basmati. Later on, the Government of India intervened and held long discussions with the United States, after which the patent was reviewed. Subsequently, Rice Tech lost or withdrew most of its claims. Apart from basmati, attempts have been made to patent products and processes based on Indian herbal medicines. Such blatant use of bioresources by multinational companies without proper authorization from the respective country and its people, and without compensatory payment to them, is known as biopiracy. Developing nations such as India have a rich biodiversity and traditional knowledge regarding their bioresources. In contrast, the industrialized nations of the world are financially sound, but they lack biodiversity as well as traditional knowledge of bioresources. As a result, the bioresources of developing nations are often manipulated by the industrialized nations in order to develop modern commercial methods that save time, effort, and expenditure. For example, they use the therapeutic herbs found in the developing countries to manufacture drugs. Developing countries are now realizing the inadequate compensation and unequal power sharing with the developed nations. Therefore, they have now begun to formulate laws to prevent unauthorized exploitation of their bioresources and traditional knowledge. For example, the Indian Parliament has cleared the Second Amendment of the Indian Patents Bill, which takes issues such as biopiracy, patent terms, emergency provisions, and research and development initiative into account. In today's competitive environment, it's important for a country to be vigilant against biopiracy and formulate laws to safeguard the rich legacy of its bioresources.